Welcome to another Whiteboard Wednesday, guys. I am Dr. Reiser. As you can see behind me, we are going to talk about fish oil today, omega-3s, fatty acids in general, and how it is involved with your overall health. How do we go about buying fish oil supplements? How do we get it from our diet? What do we have to look out for? And it's a lot more complicated than you think. It's a lot more complicated than going to Costco and buying in bulk their fish oil. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about long-chain fatty acids, and these are very essential. They're actually called essential nutrients, meaning that we need them to survive. I think 60% of the dry weight of your brain is fatty acids and cholesterol. So we want to make sure that your brain is healthy, your immune system is healthy, your cells overall are healthy, and omegas do that. So the problem is if you have omega-6 fatty acids compared to your omega-3s, if you have too many omega-6s, that's where disease comes in. And unfortunately for us, as far as Americans are concerned, 20% of our diet, of our calories in our diet, come from omega-6 fatty acids. So what's the difference? Omega-6 and omega-3s, they're both fatty acids, but omega-6s are pro-inflammatory. They cause inflammation in the body. And omega-3s are all considered anti-inflammatory. When you break down omega-3s, you have 2 EPA and DHA. DHA, and this is the first thing you're going to learn in this video, DHA is the most important omega-3. It is the one that is actually the most essential, and it is the one that is anti-inflammatory and helps our body in tremendous ways. EPA is really there to help offset any kind of omega-6 pro-inflammatory issues. Okay, so the first thing you want to know, and we're going to touch on this later, is if you buy a fish oil supplement, make sure there is DHA in there, and it should be between 200 to 300 milligrams of DHA in that capsule to be good and therapeutic, all right? So back to omega-3s, you break it down to those 2, EPA and DHA, and those are going to help our body, like I said, in tremendous ways. But if we're consuming, as Americans, 20% of our diet omega-6s, then it becomes a problem. We have disease processes that will be a result of this. So type 2 diabetes, metabolic disorder, autoimmune diseases, rheumatoid arthritis is one that you'll see a lot of omega-6 heavy diets in people, all kinds of stuff, cholesterol problems, I mean, you name it. It is a problem because we have too many omega-6s compared to our omega-3s. The ratio of our omega-6s to 3s should be 1-to-1, okay, in an ideal world. And so you're probably asking yourself, well, where do omega-6s come from and how do I avoid them? So the issue, or how we get to 20% of our diet, is the fact that we are using so many vegetable oils in our food. And the vegetable oils is where you're going to get the majority of these omega-6s. Your soybean oils, your canola oil, those types of oils are the ones that are going to have all of these omega-6s, no omega-3s. And if you're eating out at restaurants or you're eating foods that are pre-prepared for you, you can bet that they're using peanut, soy, and those types of oils because they're cheap and they are easy to get, okay? So that's where it comes in as far as the oils. However, you can still get omega-6s from eggs, pork, walnuts, avocados have omega-6s, so it's hard to completely avoid them, all right? Especially if you're somebody that's eating a healthy diet, a paleo diet, you might be eating omega-6s in other areas, even if you're avoiding the soybean oils and those types of things. So what I try to tell patients is avoid the oils first. There was a great study that showed that just replacing, I believe it was canola oil, replacing that oil with olive oil in this study decreased mortality in individuals by 70%. Just switching oils, because the olive oils is going to have a lot more omega-3s, not as much omega-6s, so you can start to balance that ratio out. Americans' ratio of omega-6s to omega-3s right now is about, I think, either 10-to-1 and up to 25-to-1 if you have a really bad diet. So 10-to-1 is even the minimum, and that's why a majority of us have these pro-inflammatory diseases, all right? Okay, so what do we do? And actually, the first thing people are going to ask me is, what about flaxseed? What about flaxseed oil? What if I add flax seeds? So flax seeds are, especially for our vegan friends out there, they love to say they're going to get their omega-3s from flax, and that's fine. You can get omega-3s, and you're actually going to get a form of omega-3 called ALA, not EPA or DHA. You're going to get ALA from flax. However, ALA does not convert into these types of omega-3s, your EPA and DHA, very well at all. I mean, it's less than like 5% will convert. So you need to get your EPA and DHA from fish or from a fish oil supplement if you're trying to alter your diet that way and you don't want to do meat. So that's my one thing I'll say. It's just really hard for vegans to get their omega-3s as compared to somebody that's eating fish especially. All right, so let's go back to our omega-3s. When you are trying to up your omega-3s, the first thing you need to do is now decrease your omega-6s. So get rid of the oils. And what I want to do is make sure, if you're watching your diet, you want to get less than like 3% of your calories omega-6s. Okay, so I'm going to start to make a list here. So the first thing, make sure, even if you're taking a fish oil supplement, you have to get your omega-6s down. It's the only way this fish oil is going to work, or you're going to have to take a ton of supplements. So first thing, check your calories, and you want to make sure that less, we'll go like that, 3% of calories is going to be your omega-6s. Okay, so like we said, look up foods. Your seeds and nuts, your avocados, your chicken with the skin on, especially pork. Those types of things will have omega-6s. But the biggest one that can significantly drop is removing those oils, soybean oil especially, canola oil, vegetable oil. You have your cottonseed oil. Those types you want to get rid of. Switch them up with some olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. Okay. Number 2, we now need to figure out how much fish should we eat. So one easy thing to do is get at least 3 4-ounce fillets of fish during the week. All right, and that will really help raise your omega-3 content. So here's another goal for you: 3 4-ounce fillets. Okay. So once you start to do that, you're going to get a lot of the omega-3s from your fish. We all know this. And really, people ask me, what are the best type of fish? The best type are going to be like your smaller fish, your sardines and those types, because they're more pure. They're going to have higher omega-3s. Sardines especially. I mean, if you eat a tin of sardines, you will get a lot of omega-3s. But really, in general, any fish is going to be good for you. They're all pretty much, high omega-3 content. But what if you hate fish? What if you just want to take a supplement? So, obviously try to do this number 2 here, but the supplement, this is the biggest question I get. What supplement do I get? How much do I take? So on and so forth. The first thing, I know you go out there and you go to Costco and you buy your fish oil supplements in bulk because it's cheap. But the problem is you have to look at a cost analysis of this thing, okay? When you turn that bottle around, how much omega is actually in your fish oil? I cannot count how many times a patient will bring in their fish oil and I'll say, how much fish oil do you have? And they'll say each capsule is 1,000 milligrams or gram. Okay, and I'll ask them again, how much omegas are in your capsule? And they'll go, I don't know. I thought it was the same thing. And it's not. You have to make sure that when you look at that capsule, even if it says 1,000 milligrams of fish oil, how much omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHEA are in there? Most of these store brands, you'll look and it'll say 1,000 milligrams in your fish oil capsule, and only 300 milligrams will be EPA and really no DHEA hardly. You'd have to take a ton of those capsules a day just to equal a therapeutic dose of fish oil. And so no, cheaper is not always better. You have to get the best bang for your buck. So you may have to spend more, but in reality, you're going to save on the long run because you're not going to take as many capsules for the day. Okay. So here's what I recommend per day of omegas, not fish oil, of omegas. When you turn that around, look at the omegas, especially EPA and DHA. And remember, so there's going to be a twofold thing. DHA must be 200 to 300 milligrams in that capsule. So first and foremost, 200 to 300 milligrams of DHA. And then what we want to do, again, is make sure we have a lot of omegas. All right, so I recommend, if you want a therapeutic dose, 3 grams of your omegas a day. Now you can get away with 2 to 3 grams. All right. So if you're looking at the back of your nutritional facts, make sure in that capsule, let's say you have a capsule that says 1,000 milligrams fish oil, 900 milligrams EPA DHEA. Great, that's a pretty pure capsule. Take 3 of those a day in the morning, you're good to go. And then obviously we want to eat fish throughout the week to offset that. That will give you a really good therapeutic dose of your omega-3s, all the while you're decreasing your omega-6s, all right? So that is a huge thing. That's how you want to dose yourself. Next thing, you want to make sure you're buying a brand that is potent, pure, and consistent. I mean, the biggest thing I see is we're looking at a label and I don't see any kind of international fish oil standards. I don't see a COA, a certificate of analysis. So if you don't see especially a COA on your fish oil bottle, toss that thing. You want to make sure a third-party company is coming in and making sure that your fish oil is pure and is not rancid. So that's one thing that can happen easily. You buy these fish oils in capsules or liquids, and they can turn rancid really quick. These unsaturated fatty acids will go quickly. And what will happen? You'll get a rancid oil, and you'll actually be taking something pro-inflammatory if it turns rancid. So you're doing yourself the opposite effect. So I use this brand. It is the best. I love Zymogen right here. Okay, so we have Omega Mono Pure. If you turn it around on the back, we have in one capsule, we have 1.3 grams of fish oil, 860 milligrams of which are EPA and DHA. The DHA is 260 milligrams. Take 2 of these to 3 of these a day and you're good to go. This bottle lasts you 2 months, okay? A lot of my patients will say, that's kind of an expensive bottle, but in reality, they have to take 8 to 12 capsules of their crappy fish oil just to even equal it. So this works out to be actually cheaper for you. Now, again, we're talking about COAs. So here we look on the back. You can go to a website and check out their COA. I have it printed out. 2-page report that a third-party company has done on this fish oil to make sure it is pure, no heavy metals, no toxins, to make sure it's not going to turn rancid, to make sure the shelf life is good on this. So this is one of the best brands you can get. And there's several brands that will have a COA like this, but you need to make sure that this is something that can become available to you if you are purchasing a fish oil. It has to be pure and clean, guys, all right? So this one is a physician brand only. Another reason I like this, you can't have this on Amazon or anywhere else. So if you guys want this brand, we carry a ton in stock usually. You can always DM us, grab this from us. It is amazing. Also that they've shown, they have a little proprietary blend here where this actually has, I think, 4 times the absorption as a normal fish oil just based on the phospholipid structure of it. I have to go into a whole other video about that. But that's what makes this one the best. You only have to take a little bit and it'll actually work really well for you. We want to prevent those inflammatory diseases like type 2 diabetes and those types of things. Cholesterol, if you get a good high dose of fatty acids, omega-3 fatty acids, that'll help decrease LDL cholesterol. It will increase your HDL, your good cholesterol. Krill oil is one of these things that is phenomenal at this. There was an awesome study that was done that showed that krill oil over any other type of fish oil helped lower or normalize your cholesterol. So that's what I recommend. So hopefully you guys learn a lot about omega-3s. What we go back down the list here, decrease your omega-6s, ditch those vegetable oils, get your good oils in. Make sure you're watching the omega-6 foods. Less than 3% of your calories are going to be from the omega-6s. 3 times a week, try to get 4 ounces of fish. Make sure you're getting 200 to 300 milligrams of DHA and overall 3 grams of fish oil or 3 grams of your omegas a day. Check your bottle. Is there a COA on there, certificate of analysis? Make sure that it is a clean product, that you're getting a potent product, and you'll be good to go. And obviously, we're talking about coronavirus day in and day out here. The biggest thing that's coming up with coronavirus lately are these blood clots, these thromboembolisms, and omega-3s, they've showed in countless studies, have proven to thin the blood enough to prevent these types of blood clots from forming. And actually, I believe 60 to 70% of it was for pulmonary thromboembolisms, which is the most common one right now with coronavirus. So if you want to load up on omegas, you're going to do two things for you: help your immune system, help prevent clotting, especially if you're somebody that came in contact with COVID, suffering from COVID, or trying to prevent yourself from having the effects of COVID-19. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. As always, DM us. or email me directly, dr.riser@fhccarolinas.com. Look out for more videos. Next week, we're going to be doing, again, another Whiteboard Wednesday. We do these weekly. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Have a wonderful week, everybody.